Hello and welcome. Agility, one of the world's leading providers of integrated logistics, recently launched its first corporate social responsibility report. Today, we're here with Tarek Sultan, the chairman and managing director, to talk about their CSR program. Hello, Tarek.
Hi, Nita.
Tarek, Agility launched its corporate social responsibility program in 2006. You published your first report this year. Why?
Well, Nita, we've been very busy executing and taking care of the projects that we have on the ground, and it's been a very exciting last few years. So it's now time to sort of take stock and look back and catalog some of the successes and maybe some of the failures that we've had, so that we can go forward and assess what we need to do better and maybe the things that we need to emphasize more. I think it's also a good time to communicate about some of the programs and the successes we've had, because I think although a lot of people have heard about our CSR programs, they're still not fully aware of the impact that they're really having.
Right. Well, Agility is a $6 billion revenue company. You're among the top 10 logistics providers globally. Why invest in CSR?
First of all, I think it's the right thing to do. As a company that's doing business in 120 countries with a very strong platform in the emerging markets, it's usually the case, although not always, that disasters and humanitarian issues are arising in the emerging markets. And what are the core capabilities that we have that are relevant to the emerging markets? We're able to operate in difficult environments. We can maybe take on some of the risks or difficulties that other companies couldn't. So we really felt that we had a unique set of skills that could help improve the lives of people when confronted with disasters, and that comes from basically our background in the emerging markets. So I think that, coupled with the fact that when you have people on the ground in most of these countries, it's usually the case when there's a disaster, we usually have an operation on the ground. So I think it's very important to the people that are in those countries to know that the company cares about them, and I think there's no better way to do that than to have a formal CSR program around humanitarian needs.
Well, you've probably covered this in your report already, but it's really interesting for us to know. The global logistics and transportation industry is growing increasingly aware about environmental issues. What is Agility doing to improve its carbon footprint?
Well, I think first and foremost, we've taken the time to go through and look at how we're consuming energy and looking at the way that we are impacting the environment. And we have a number of programs where we've looked at our own business and looked at the way that we are impacting the environment, and we've made some good strides in terms of improving our footprint. But I think it's important to keep in mind that the environment just does not mean carbon footprint. There are other things that impact the environment as well. So we've been very active in supporting NGOs that are focused on the environment. And I think our customers are becoming increasingly sensitive to environmental issues. More and more of our customers are asking about our environmental programs, about our carbon footprint, and we have to be prepared to not only answer those questions, but to show some leadership in that regard. And I think that's clearly what we've done. We've created some tools that allow our customers to benchmark their supply chains and then look at how they're impacting the environment. So at the end of the day, we are supply chain engineers, and the best way to address the environment is to look at ways of re-engineering the supply chain so that the environment's not impacted. And that's a core competency that we have in our company, and something that we're continuously doing. I just think there's a new way to sort of present those skill sets, and that's to really structure a value proposition around the supply chain that also addresses what's important to the environment at the same time.
Right. Well, your report is titled Our Journey, Steps Taken and the Road Ahead. So where do you see your corporate citizenship 5 years down the line?
Well, I think one thing is important to keep in mind that if anything, humanitarian issues are increasing in scope and severity. So I think over the next 4 or 5 years, although we wish it were the case, it's clear that there's going to be an increasing amount of natural disasters, humanitarian issues, that we have to be prepared to respond to. So I think over the next 4 or 5 years, we need to continue to focus and refine our program. I think to really focus our energy and our resources into the programs that are yielding the greatest humanitarian benefit. And I think that's why it's important to sort of go back and look at what we've done and to perhaps tweak some of the things that have worked, and those that maybe haven't. Maybe we need to find a different way to do them. So over the next 4 or 5 years, I think we're going to continue doing what we're doing. We're going to look to engage more partners. I think that's important. It's great for us to be spearheading some of these programs, but I think at the end of the day, in order to be really successful, sometimes you have to give some of that success, the limelight of that success, you need to share it with others, because at the end of the day, what we're trying to impact here is something that goes beyond what we're trying to do even as a company. So I think over the next few years, we're going to be looking to get more partners engaged with us. I think one example of that is we recently were successful in getting Maersk to join our sort of programs, and I hope there's 20, 30 other companies that join as well, because that'll mean we'll just have that much more resources to make a difference.
Well, it sounds very interesting. Good luck with that, and thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you, Nita.